Good evening. Welcome to the campus of Jewell College. I am delighted to welcome all of you to our 77th annual Celebration of Achievement. We are so glad you have joined us this evening. I am Lydia Inge, a senior here on the Hill. Tonight, you will learn about the alumni who have received the 2021 Citation for Achievement, and you will hear from business leaders and Jewell students regarding the strength of our region and what's ahead for our community.
Hello, I am Chance Lister, also a senior here at Jewell. Lydia and I are honored to serve as your Masters of Ceremony for the evening. We extend our gratitude to our presenting sponsors, Sarah Rowland and the Everglades Fund, Jewell Unlimited, and the Men of Kappa Alpha Order. You will be hearing from them throughout the evening. This level of commitment is critical to the success of our event. We thank them and you for offering support for an educational experience that is indispensable to this community.
It's a great day to be a Cardinal. Hello again. I am Lydia Inge. Because I've lived in most of the Midwestern states at some point in my life, I now claim the entire region as my home. However, finding my college home was a great challenge. During my senior year of high school, I visited 13 college campuses, but none of them felt right. I was about to give up on my dream. Exasperated, I found one of those college search engines and entered every single want and need I had envisioned for my future college. It came up with only one result: Jewell College, and the rest was history. I was blessed to come to Jewell with not only an academic, but also an athletic scholarship. As a Cardinal athlete, I throw for Jewell's track and field team. I've learned lessons of perseverance, heart, and patience. Even though my outdoor season was canceled last year, I'm thrilled to be able to have the entirety of my senior season. We are so fortunate to have been holding classes on campus for all but a few weeks last semester. The college administration has shown the commitment and determination to keep us safe so that we can live and learn together.
Hello again. My name is Chance Lister, and I'm proud to hail from Green Valley, Missouri. I would like to take this occasion to thank all of the college's donors for making my Jewell journey possible, and it truly wouldn't have been possible without you. I was fortunate enough to come to Jewell with not only an academic scholarship, but an athletic scholarship as well. Currently, I am a 4-year veteran of the cross country and track team under my 2 coaches, Alicia Samuel and Rayshawn Walker. Being a student athlete here at Jewell has taught me lessons in time management, perseverance, and self-discipline, but most importantly, has enabled me to meet lifelong friends along the way. Teammates and friends soon became brothers when I joined the Zeta Phi chapter of Phi Gamma Delta. The Fijis have been role models, mentors, and friends that have pushed me to be a better leader. As our chapter's chair of philanthropic efforts, I was proud to lead our collective effort to raise $2,000 for Bikers Against Child Abuse. Experiencing the impact that a focused group can achieve has made me a better servant leader and individual.
As students and team members, we fully understand that we do not achieve alone, and we know the importance of acknowledging those who have contributed to our successes. The Citation of Achievement, which was formally presented during yesterday morning's virtual convocation, is Jewell's highest alumni honor. We invite you to find the link to that ceremony in your online program so that you can more fully engage with these accomplished Jewell alumni. The college has a deep-rooted tradition of cultivating high achievers. Our alumni have given us a great legacy of achievement. Tonight, I would like to introduce the 2021 class of alumni honorees and recognize them as examples of achievement and inspiration. From the class of 1997, we recognize Dimple DeBalia. She serves as the Senior Advisor for Workforce Enrichment, Refugee, Asylum, and International Operations, and U.S. Citizenship Immigration Services. She is also the founder and CEO of Roots in the Clouds, both in Washington, D.C. From the class of 1986, we recognize Mike Fraser. President and CEO of Reese Nichols Realtors, Inc. in Kansas City, Missouri, where he has also held the roles of Chief Financial Officer and Chief Operating Officer. From the class of 1985, we recognize Calvin Osborne. He is the Associate Director of the Office of Federal and Regional Affairs and the Executive Office of the Mayor of Washington, D.C. He also serves as the President and CEO of Potomac Realty Company. From the class of 1990, we recognize Jim Richardson, President of the PGA of America and Senior Vice President of Operations of Troon, an international golf course management company. Please note the list of former honorees from the past 77 years in your online program. We recognize all of them for the ways in which their lives have enriched our own.
Good evening. I'm Hunter O'Connor, a junior political science and history major from Wichita, Kansas. Thank you for joining us on the Hill this evening. The men of Kappa Alpha are proud to support this virtual gathering of the alumni and donors of Jewell College. Many of us are recipients of scholarships that you have provided, and we're very grateful for your generosity. Tonight, we are especially honored to congratulate our KA brother, Jim Richardson, class of 1991, as a recipient of the 2021 Citation for Achievement.
It's been a hard year for entrepreneurs and young firms, but it's been especially hard for firms run by entrepreneurs of color and by women because some of the inequities and the barriers that existed even before the pandemic were just accelerated or amplified during the pandemic. I think if we can get education right and business ownership, those are two very critical ones because everyone needs a quality education no matter what you're going to do, whether you're going to take a job or make a job as an entrepreneur. And entrepreneurs are the next generation of job creators in our community. So we need to make sure that we're fully tapping the human potential in Kansas City and not just for some. Everyone needs an opportunity to succeed.
Health is about the community conditions that shape our health, where we work, where we live, where we play, where we pray. All of those factors play a significant component into how healthy we are. The two most underlying factors that drive health outcomes are not just race, but racism and our income. Those are the factors that underpin poor health. And Health Forward is applying a lens with those two factors centered to begin to address the root causes that impact our health more than healthcare itself.
So the Midwest, like every part of the country, suffered during the pandemic. It took a huge toll on our economy everywhere. In the case of the Midwest, though, I would argue we had a couple of advantages. One is we are in the part of the country where there are wide open spaces. And as it turned out, density did not work to your advantage during the pandemic. The other thing that our economy in this part of the country, I think, continues to show is its resilience because of its diversity. So relying on a broad range of industries, from healthcare to tech firms, life sciences, engineering, have given us a better chance at resilience during a time like we've experienced over the past year.
During the pandemic, one of the things that I love about Kansas City are the relationships. And we jumped in with many other foundations and businesses across Kansas City to support our nonprofit partners, our health and human service partners, and raised about $19 million and really supported within a week or two, like really. And really came through strongly to ensure that lights stayed on for struggling families, to ensure that there was food in the pantry and in the refrigerator for struggling families during the pandemic, and to ensure that healthcare workers were able to have child care services during the pandemic. Kansas City is such a rich, philanthropic city that has a heart of gold.
So when people ask me why nursing, I always kind of smile because I have a little sister who has cerebral palsy. So I was always part of that care team at home. I was helping mom with the feedings, bathing, physical therapy. And at a young age, I became the family interpreter. So I always tell people I never chose to be a nurse. I think I just kind of grew up being one. When I started working at the hospital along nurses, that's when I knew, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. And coming to William Jewell just kind of helped me solidify that. And they're giving me the tools that I need in order to continue caring for people. That's all I know.
So one of the things that I think is going to be very interesting to watch unfold is what happens post-pandemic in terms of how the economy might change. People have been more inclined to start new businesses during this time. We may see new kinds of businesses emerge after this time. The other thing that I think will be structural trends that may have already been in motion will be accelerated as a result of this pandemic. So when I think about things like how people buy things, they may be more inclined to online. How they pay for things has changed during this time as well. So we will see unfold in our economy, I think, a number of changes that will alter the economy as we knew it, and yet will bring great promise, I think, for the future of our economy in this part of the country.
So I think we all know that we can't go back to the way things were, before the pandemic, and that we have an opportunity in this country to rebuild better. And by that, what we mean at the foundation is that we have an economy and a society where everyone has an opportunity to achieve economic stability, economic mobility, and growth. I think we are a highly collaborative community. We have an ability to come together, and I love that because one of my favorite quotes of Mr. Kaufman said that, all the money in the world really doesn't make a difference at the end of the day, but if you can bring people together, we can tackle almost any issue in front of us.
I did accept a job at Truman Medical Center in the medical ICU, and to me, it's kind of a full circle kind of thing. I grew up in that area. I grew up with people who don't have any medical coverage at all, and sometimes they just wait until they're very sick before they seek medical help. To me, it was like coming home. I want to be able to serve the community that has given me so much and the community that I grew up with. I feel like there's that personal connection that I will have with those patients, and that's where I feel like I need to be, and that's what I'm excited about.
As a business owner, one of the greatest gifts you can give to your employees and staff is investment. It speaks very highly to them when they know that you're not only willing to invest time, but also money behind their development, their career path. It gives them a sense of pride. It gives them a sense of confidence in what they do. And I love watching people learn. It's just an incredible experience. And Jewell Unlimited has given us so many options to make that happen.
One of the things that I find astonishing about the Kansas City region not being a native to this area is that we speak with a unified voice as a region, as a civic community, around our goal of advancing all communities through shared prosperity. That's remarkable. And what's especially remarkable for me as a higher education leader is that higher education's been invited into that conversation. And Jewell has been eager to step forward into that dialogue and be a thought leader as we think about the marriage between education, our civic endeavors, and our economic drive to lift everyone out of poverty and into a place where we all can thrive and move forward together. That's what shared prosperity is all about.
The spirit of collaboration is something that has been hard-won. It's been something that I've never seen it better than it is today. And I think the greatest expression of that, which started as a civic collaboration between Mid-America Regional Council, the Civic Council, the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, and the Kansas City Area Development Council, those entities had really zeroed in on the idea of economic inclusion. That economic inclusion is an imperative. It's not just the right thing to do. It's an economic imperative. The greatest thing holding our city back is the disparity in outcomes. Educational attainment, the wealth gap, healthcare outcomes, and the fact that we've got companies that need to fill jobs and we've got unemployed people.
We knew, we've known for a long time, that our price point has stopped so many families, and particularly low-income families, from being able to engage with us and actually matriculate at Jewell and have that life-changing experience. And so we made the decision, and it's an equity-based decision, to lower our tuition almost by half going into the fall of 2021. And we've already seen conversations open up with communities that historically have not engaged with us because we made that equity-based decision around price. At Jewell, we know that attaining a college degree is life-changing for a student, but it also can be life-giving to an entire community. And when those individuals return to their communities, they're bringing ideas, they're bringing innovation, they're bringing a whole new way of looking at their community and themselves, and that advances the community that they serve.
I want to be the type of nurse that everyone comes to because I am just the resource in the room. So I want to become someone who's just full of knowledge. That's just my goal, and I have accepted a job in a critical care setting. My mom and dad are just very proud. We come from a place where we had nothing to eat sometimes. I remember playing around with tires and needles on the ground. So for them to be able to raise 3 children and putting us through school is just an accomplishment that you don't really hear about. So I sometimes tell people it's not really that they're proud of me. I think I'm just proud of them for what they've done for me.
There's a significant trend taking place right now within KC Rising, within the Kauffman Foundation, within KC Scholars, relative to the concept of real-world learning, market value assets. They all want kids to graduate from high school with some type of a skill that is perceived as having value in the marketplace. That is a huge shift in the mindset of education today, and it also is the precursor to what I would call short lead workforce development pipeline. It is really born out of the need for greater workforce development, both to create more jobs, but to fill jobs that currently sit unfilled because they lack the skilled labor that's needed, but also to create inclusivity in our economy.
Pretty much since the founding of higher education in America, we've had the attitude of, you need to be college ready. You need to prepare yourself for being able to succeed within higher education, when in fact, we should be student ready. We've changed that mindset, and now our interest is in reaching students where they are and really evaluating, are they students of promise who could thrive here?
Jewell has really taught me the importance of being a lifelong learner, and I think that I have learned how crucial it is to stay up to date with what's going on in the world of education. It's ever evolving, it's ever changing, and it's a beautiful thing, all these minds coming together, and there's always new ideas, and there's constantly new research about how the brain works and how children learn and the programs we should be using and the lessons you should be teaching. I'm excited to just embrace every challenge and experience that's going to come my way. I know that being a first-year teacher is going to be a super rewarding and also a super challenging experience. For me, I find a lot of joy in the little things, and I find a lot of joy in the little successes that I see in my students. It's really important that I am instilling this growth mindset in my children, that they are able to do anything that they want to do, and that I'm going to help them to get wherever they want to go, and I'm going to help them develop whatever skills that they need.
One of the great things about Kansas City is its spirit of collaboration, its civic-mindedness, and also its philanthropic inclination. In the case of education, those forces are aligning today to try to create a better world for everybody.
Now we'll hear from Sarah Rowland, our presenting sponsor for tonight's event. Sarah represents the Everglades Fund, is a board member of Lead Bank, and serves as a trustee of Jewell College.
Good evening to you all. My family, through the Everglades Fund, is proud to present this virtual event in support of financial aid scholarships for the students of Jewell College. The funds raised through this event remove barriers for students who will greatly benefit from Jewell's rich educational experience. We are building pathways for the next generation of nonprofit leaders, scientists, entrepreneurs, writers, teachers, musicians, nurses, lawyers, and innovators. Many of these graduates will make Kansas City their home. We are thrilled to play a role in their success.
When you invest in Jewell, you're investing in students who are educated to the highest standards, preparing us to become critical thinkers and leaders. With the support of the Jewell community, students like me receive an exceptional liberal arts education, opportunities for learning and discovery, impactful extracurricular activities, financial aid and scholarships, and a beautiful hillside campus. This year's corporate sponsorship committee was led by Tyler Griffin, class of 2001, and Darren Pregner, class of 2003.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Tyler Griffin. Darren and I are proud graduates of Jewell College. We value the educational experience and knowledge we gained at Jewell to become critical thinkers. We appreciate your willingness to help students find their home on the Hill and grow into the leaders of tomorrow. Kansas City has many ambitious goals for the prosperity of our region. Human capital will be the biggest factor in our future success. Jewell College has nearly 9,000 graduates, or just over 50% of our alumni, living in greater Kansas City. Many are in leadership positions in corporations, nonprofits, hospitals, and research facilities. Cerner, where I've worked for 20 years, currently employs 200 Jewell grads, and many more have served the Cerner mission through the last 40 years. Jewell alumni are treasured employees because of their distinctive critical thinking skills, which are honed as part of the curriculum and culture at Jewell. Jewell College will continue to align its institutional focus to become an indispensable asset to Kansas City. If you don't have Jewell employees in your company, you don't know what you're missing.
Good evening, everyone. I am Darren Pregner. Did you know that 99% of Jewell students receive merit or need-based scholarships? For many students, Jewell would not be possible without your generosity. By attending this fundraising event tonight, you're supporting the work of bright, capable students just like Lydia and Chance. You can see for yourselves the caliber of young people whose educations you are helping to make possible. Our committee did an outstanding job generating 65 sponsors and underwriters for this year's celebration. Tyler and I are pleased to announce, thanks to your generosity, our committee has raised more than $250,000 tonight. We are grateful to count on you as we work together to advance Jewell's mission and to provide a Jewell journey for current and future students.
Being the chair of the Greater Kansas City Chamber is just an awesome experience. One of the initiatives that's really important right now that we're working on is our inclusive prosperity focus. And coming out of the social justice movement from the summer, we really started some listening sessions launched by Joe Reardon, our CEO, to listen to our Black community and tell us what it is that we can do better. And as a result of that, we formed 5 task forces to focus on education, professional development, access to employment, access to capital, just inclusive prosperity in general. And I think the Casey Rising Initiative is also focusing on inclusive prosperity. And I think all of that focus is coming together where we want to make improvements in our community and we want it to be for everyone.
The Negro Leagues Baseball Museum is Kansas City's gift to the rest of the world. I think it is one of the most important cultural institutions because it is documenting and substantiating this wonderful piece of baseball and Americana that no one really knew anything about. But even beyond the fact that it's this great educational resource, its greatest value may be in the fact that it is an inspirational resource. People leave here inspired. They are inspired by the power of the human spirit to persevere and prevail.
There's a lot of issues to want to solve, which is both a good thing and a bad thing. I think though, if I had to really say what my passion is, I think it's just to address the inequalities in our country's economic and political and social institutions. I was accepted to the Fund for American Studies program in Washington, D.C., which is an academic internship program, so I'll be enrolled at George Mason University, and then I'll also go participate in an internship program in D.C. And then hopefully the plan is to stay out there long term and work either for a government agency or in Congress, hopefully for a while. And the ultimate goal, though, is to go to law school. I'm looking to kind of give myself a few years to get some work experience in policy and legislation, and then hopefully transition on to that next step to sort of maximize the eventual change that I hope to be able to make.
Here at Commerce Bank, I actually manage several foundations where the bank is trustee, and the bank's motto is that we help our customers focus on what matters most. And I think that when you think about our foundations, so many of them are about creating hope for people, that tomorrow will be better than today. So whether that's hope through, we do a lot around education across these different foundations. We also really believe in the power of arts, history, culture, civics. So a lot of times those get pushed aside as frivolous, but we really believe in the power of beauty and transcendent experiences and the education. We think a lot about journalism and the importance of creating an informed citizenry. Across the board, we want to attract and retain great talent here in Kansas City, and so we believe in investing in leaders with vision who can execute, and we're really excited about some of the people we see here in Kansas City doing great things.
Especially in a time lately where maybe it's felt like to some people there hasn't been as much reason to have hope. I think more than anything what gives me hope is the fellow members of my generation and just young people. You know, I look around Jewell, I look around the Kansas City community and really just kind of across the country. A lot of the students that I've been fortunate enough to meet, they see things as they are, and they know that things could be a lot better and things could be a lot different, and that they want to make them different. Just to know that they and we are going to get our chance to make the change that we want to see, to turn our passion into actual substantive improvements in our country. That gives me hope.
We've been honored to be a part of the COVID-19 Response and Recovery Fund, which has been this amazing effort to bring many different philanthropists, but also community members, institutions together to respond to the pandemic. But I'm excited that that group has now identified how some of those areas that were hit worst in the crisis, there may be opportunities to look at how we can create better systems and more sustainable solutions coming out of it as well. This collective effort around COVID response and recovery actually dovetails nicely with my work through KC Rising. And we've set some pretty ambitious goals for where we want the city to go. Even though they're ambitious, I think we really all believe we can do that. We can get Kansas City there.
First and foremost, I think we have amazing people. I think we're very resilient, we're very compassionate, we're very philanthropic, very generous community. And we're very hardworking. So I think we take that to all of the initiatives that we have in our industry. We have great industries such as architecture, engineering, and construction. We have, again, strong healthcare. We have strong entrepreneurship backed by the Kauffman Foundation. We have strong life sciences programs. We have great culture and arts. We have great sports teams, great small businesses as well, and great support for small businesses.
I always share something that the late great Buck O'Neill said to me when he got to Kansas City in 1938. He recalled, he says, "Bob, I knew I was coming to the heart of America. I never knew I was coming to the center of the universe." And Kansas City is the center of the universe. It is a leader in so many areas. The spirit of community is not lost on the people who live in the city. And a city's only as good as the people who make it up. And this city is filled with great people. And I think that is where the greatness of our city lies. That is its most valuable resource, are those people.
We have enjoyed an evening that has stimulated our minds and enriched us as a community. We have celebrated individual achievement in the context of a wider community of learning. We have acknowledged our supporters who offer the strong foundation upon which we students might build lives of purpose and fulfillment. Jewell has celebrated its partnership with Kansas City, which is the home of many Jewell alumni who contribute to this vibrant region.
Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. On behalf of all the Cardinals at William Jewell, we're grateful for the lessons we have learned, not just in the classrooms, but on the fields and courts. Lydia and I thank you for being a part of the Jewell team. As we take our leave, the William Jewell College Concert Choir will perform our alma mater. Until we have the pleasure of meeting again, good night.